What's going on, guys? This is David here, and so I wanted to make a quick little video about the iOS 10.1 through 10.1.1 beta jailbreak by Luca Tedesco. Now, a long time ago, Luca actually dropped a 10.1 through 10.1.1 beta jailbreak. It's been a little while. There's a TSMC Fix that actually got released by a third party, Stickatron, I think that's how you say his name. So props to him for releasing that, because that's awesome, because I could jailbreak. Now, in case you're not sure what that means, for the iPhone 6s and for the iPhone SE, but I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I think, at least I know for a fact, on the iPhone 6s, on the iPhone 6s, there are two different chips. There is a Samsung chip. It was developed by Samsung, and then Apple's chip, the TSMC chip. So there are two different chips in the iPhone 6s, and the chip that actually worked with the jailbreak by default was the Samsung chip. Now, Apple's chip was supposed to work, but it didn't work because there's a bug in the code that wasn't making it work. So somebody modified it and thankfully made it work with Apple's chip, the TSMC model. So that's news to you guys, in case you didn't know, in case you don't follow along on Twitter and you didn't know that. There is a TSMC version of the jailbreak that actually works. It is in beta, though. It's an IPA. Basically, somebody just went around and changed a few strings in the code to make it work. And Luca actually did fully support that and say, if you're on a TSMC device and you do want to use this, to use that. While he doesn't necessarily recommend that people do jailbreak with this, because again, it is a beta jailbreak, he has said that if you want to go about jailbreaking, at least a TSMC device, this is, what you would do. So another thing is that basically Luca disabled Substrate on purpose because he knew that there were going to be some problems, especially with his jailbreak with Substrate. So he disabled it on purpose. And so IJAP, which is somebody on Twitter who we've seen even before this, basically coming out with videos saying that he has a jailbreak, and we weren't sure if that was true. He was a known developer in the tweak scene because he put out a bunch of different jailbreak tweaks as well. So he's a talented guy from what I could see. He's a nice guy, and he dropped this Substrate Fix, this Substrate Enabler, and Substrate Enabler is basically a better word for it, because it doesn't necessarily fix what's wrong with everything as a whole. It basically just goes around the security precautions that Luca put in place. And Sarek actually commented this, and he went on to say that basically anybody with regular knowledge in terminal that knew how to, create tweaks and knew how to do this could basically get around it already. So releasing this was just basically making it more available and broadened up the jailbreak for users. And he said the problem, Sarek then kind of just went on to say the problem isn't necessarily with users that are, actually using it. It's with developers making some tweaks that, entice others to actually jailbreak. And then they might, screw up by installing AppSync, which as of right now, as of the recording of this video, does not work with iOS 10 with this jailbreak. If you do install AppSync, you're going to have to restore. It's as simple as that. So please make the right decision if you're going to use this jailbreak. Don't install AppSync for right now. There might be an AppSync update at some point in the future. There definitely will be, but at some point in the near future, maybe there will be. I don't really know. But for right now, don't install AppSync. And that was mainly the reasoning behind why Luca wanted to disable Substrate. But IJAP enabled it, so a lot more people are using it. There are things that are iOS 10 compatible. But I wanted to say one of the reasons why I didn't make the tutorial when the jailbreak came out is because I simply couldn't jailbreak, because I was on a device, the iPhone 6s TSMC model, that actually was not supported in the very beginning. The iPhone 6s was supposed to be supported, but the TSMC chip had a bug with it, so it didn't work. So finally, somebody released an update to that, and on Periscope, I actually demoed it. I was live and I demoed it, and it worked, and I showed that it worked, and I was really, really excited. And I was making a video. I was in the process of making a video, but then I realized it just didn't really make much sense to do, because I could say with the disclaimer, guys, This is not something that should be attempted right now. It's in very early beta stages. I'm just showing you guys how to do it. But I just felt like that wouldn't be a good idea to do at this point in the game because it is very, it is a beta jailbreak for a reason. Luca doesn't even really think that you guys should use it. I think it's more of the fact that if you don't know what you're doing, you're at a much greater of a risk. I've been jailbreaking for several years already, and I'm, highly enveloped in this community. So if this is like your first jailbreak or one of your first jailbreaks, I would say don't touch this until we see the gamma release. Hopefully that should be at some point soon. But again, I would just recommend not even touching this jailbreak, not even worrying about it until we get more information about the gamma and until we get more information about a final stable release. That includes Substrate, enabled by Luca and not by another third-party source. But yeah, I wanted to make this video because probably a lot of you guys are like, okay, so the TSMC Fix is out. Why isn't there a new video? Because I actually did plan to make a tutorial on, showing people how to do it. I did plan that, and I was going to do it. And then I realized it just generally didn't make sense for me to do it because I felt like I was putting a lot more people at risk at that point. So I wanted to make this quick little video just detailing that and just talking about it. And hopefully we see the gamma release very, very soon. We don't know 100% when that's coming. Also, Luca today on Twitter said that an iOS 10.2 jailbreak might be coming. It's not exactly what he said, but he said support. He basically said, quote unquote, I'm not going to, quote it word for word because I don't have the tweet up. But basically what he said is an iOS, he said iOS 10.2 support is coming for every device other than the iPhone 7. But then, I think it was a day or so beforehand, he tweeted saying that an iOS 10.2 jailbreak is not planned. So maybe we have to kind of read a little bit more into it. It's kind of confusing. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But if you're already on 10.2 and you don't have an iPhone 7 and you just coincidentally are on 10.2, or you might have installed AppSync and screwed up your jailbreak and you had to go to 10.2 and you don't have an iPhone 7, then you might be in luck because Luca might actually be dropping something, Yalu with this 10.2 support besides an iPhone 7 and 7 Plus support. Now, you guys might be wondering, why isn't the iPhone 7, iPhone 7 Plus supported with this 10.2 jailbreak? My thinking, I'm not 100% sure, but my thinking is that it could theoretically make it you might have to basically go and drop another 0-day exploit in order to basically make it work on 7 and 7 Plus, because 7 and 7 Plus have, I guess, a newer chip in it or newer technology where it's harder to get through KPP, and it's harder to do certain things. So the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus alone, the fact that you can jailbreak that right now in 10.1 and 10.1.1, that's crazy because it took a lot of effort to bypass a lot of things that were, security-wise in iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. So when is, why is that? Why is it that it's not going to be supported for 7 and 7 Plus? I think, like I said, it's just simply because Luca, I think, again, would have to burn through another exploit in order to make it compatible for the 7 and the 7 Plus. Not 100% sure. We could see somebody modify it to work for the 7 and 7 Plus. I don't really know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to update you guys on this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think I'm going to keep the thumbnail relatively the same. Sometimes I change up the thumbnail, but today I decided I think that I'm going to keep the thumbnail as is, just because this is kind of a vlog, and this is just to kind of tell you guys what's going on. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Before I go, though, I did just want to say, basically, I got in a call. I got in a Skype call with JK. 3987, I think that's what it is, something like that. But he's working on the user interface of the Yalu jailbreak with Luca, and so he kind of gave me like a virtual tour. Showed me the user interface and showed me the thinking that went into it, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to see that, the link is down below in the description. I know I got a bunch of backlash and negative attention from that video just because I, hyped it up a lot on Twitter. So I do apologize for that, as I did in that video. I was just very, very excited because this was something that was being exclusively shared to us and us only. So that's the reason why I was really, really excited for it. And I hyped it up a lot. I did say that there was no extra ETA. Like, I didn't know anything that you guys didn't know, and there wasn't going to be anything new that was announced that you guys are going to be like, oh my god. But yeah, in case you want to see the user interface of, the Yalu application, what it's going to look like, and you want to know, like, what's going to be included in it, there's also supposed to be a mixtape player included in it as well. So if you want to know, what the mixtape player is going to look like, what features it's going to have, then you guys can see that in the video down below in the description. Again, I disabled ads on the video just because, monetization's disabled because I felt that it wasn't necessary, and I felt, that it wasn't a good thing to do because I was already getting a lot of backlash from the video, and I didn't want it to make it seem like, that I just did that video for views, and I just did that video to get a bunch of money. I did that video because I thought it was also cool as well, and I thought you guys would really find it interesting. So if that is, like I said, something that you guys think would be interesting, please definitely make sure to check that video down below in the description. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is David signing out. Peace.